You're carrying a secret office inside your body. Protein hormone memos, a self-wired beat, side jobs no one knew about. But in March 2024, reviews map unknown corners, hormones to kidneys, a private aortic oxygen route. That's mostly valve percussion, not muscle noise. You won't guess the last one. Here are 5 weird side jobs your heart has besides pumping blood. Number 1, Endocrine Desk. Full-time pump, part-time endocrine organ. Specialized granules in your atrial muscle cells stash pro-ANP. When those chambers stretch, think high filling pressure, out comes atrial natriuretic peptide. Your ventricular muscle gets in on the act too, especially when it is stretched or stressed. As in heart failure, that is the BNP and NT-proBNP story your doctor may order on a blood test. These peptides hit receptors, bump up cGMP in target tissues, and push your body toward peeing out salt and water. They relax blood vessels and push back against the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, the team that wants you to hold fluid like a camel. So you have an internal tug-of-war pitting salty fluid retention against letting it go. Emergency departments lean on BNP or NT-proBNP to help sort cardiac versus non-cardiac shortness of breath in many protocols, and urgent care often does too. And here is the humbling part. A normal number does not hand you a clean bill of health in clinical isolation. Obesity and other states blur the picture, and nobody diagnoses heart failure off one lab line alone. Still wild, your heart files paperwork with your kidneys. Number 2, electrical department. But here's the thing, everyone credits the brain for the beat, but the primary tempo starts inside the chest. The sinoatrial node has the fastest spontaneous depolarization. It is the natural pacemaker. The signal spreads through the atria, hits the atrioventricular node, and that node is deliberately slow on purpose so the atria finish their kick before the ventricles fire. Then the bundle of His and the Purkinje network race the wave along so the ventricles depolarize fast. Together they fire instead of wobbling like a bad flash mob. Ion channels, funny currents, calcium. The nerdy stuff. But the headline is intrinsic rhythm. This is where it gets interesting. Athletes often run cooler resting rates because vagal tone turns the dial down, same wiring, different setting. When atrial electricity goes chaotic, you get the familiar AFib story, disordered atrial activity, a huge and growing problem in older adults. The ECG is the receipt. P waves, PR interval, QRS shape, electricity made visible. Number 3, volume and pressure sensing. Your heart is not only the actuator in the loop, it helps read the script. Stretch-sensitive endings in the atria and pulmonary vessels, low-pressure baroreceptor territory, report volume and pressure upstream to your brainstem. More venous return stretches the atrial walls. Afferent vagal fibers carry the news, and sympathetic and parasympathetic outputs shift. Heart rate, contractility, vascular tone. That stretch also nudges ANP release, so the mechanical story ties straight back to the hormone desk. You have felt the Cliff Notes version. Stand up fast and your heart rate climbs as baroreflexes scramble to keep your brain perfused. It is not just the brain deciding speed in a vacuum. Peripheral sensors, including cardiac inputs, keep feeding the integrators in the medulla. Aging, diabetes-related neuropathy, heart failure, they can dull those reflexes. Universal in healthy humans, easy to ignore until it hiccups. Number 4, myocardial supply chain. Self-catering circulation means the muscle doing the world tour of blood still needs its own supply chain, and the problem is you never see the route until it complains. Oxygenated blood leaves the aortic route through the coronary ostia. The left and right coronaries wrap the myocardium like dedicated delivery routes. Chamber blood does not perfuse the full wall thickness, myth busted, so when coronaries narrow or clot, the pump starves while it works. Flow is phasic. A lot of left ventricular subendocardial perfusion happens in diastole when the wall is not squeezing itself shut. Crank the heart rate and you shorten diastole. Supply and demand math gets tense. Collateral vessels can grow over time and partly bypass blockages. Luck of the anatomy lottery. Bypass grafts and stents exist because this side gig is non-negotiable. Coronary artery disease remains a leading global killer. Risk climbs with age, blood pressure, diabetes, smoking, lipids, family history. The greatest hits, tiny trucks on the outside, not the slosh inside. If you're finding this interesting, consider subscribing since I drop videos like this regularly, and anyway, back to it. Number 5, mechanical harmonics. Your heart has a sound design department with a 2-note EP, yet the classic lub-dub is not muscle-flexing acoustics in the way people imagine. S1 lines up largely with mitral and tricuspid valves snapping shut. Systole kicks off. S2 is aortic and pulmonic valves closing at the end of systole. Extra turbulence gives murmurs. S3 or S4 in adults can flag volume overload or stiff ventricle situations, clues, not vibes. Splitting of S2 shifts with respiration, tiny physics demo every breath. Innocent murmurs show up in kids. Valve wear enters the chat with age. You rarely hear your own valves without help. Culture taught you the beat through playground health class in every hospital drama. Stethoscope on the chest, echocardiogram if something sounds off. Same cycle the conduction system times and the coronaries feel in phases. Quick reminder, if you're enjoying this, subscribing really helps out. Now where were we? So the next time someone says, your heart only pumps, you can list the jobs, hormone memos to kidneys and vessels, self-generated electricity with a built-in delay line, stretch sensors texting the brainstem, private coronary catering, and valve percussion for anyone listening stack on top. 5 side hustles all stack onto one very busy organ, that same heart. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. Which one hit you hardest? See you.